Good afternoon to one and all. A warm welcome to all our participants for our session today in Homeopathic Musings platform. So we have been conducting Homeopathic Musings for the past 2.5 years now, and it is initiated by Dr. Prajakta Vaidya and Dr. Preeti Shah. This is a small study circle that was formed during COVID, and right now we have multiple participants from various countries who participate and benefit from these sessions. The sessions are conducted on first and third Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Our upcoming module, we have a plant module that is planned in the next year. It is a session which will cover all the subclasses of plants and also the ancient plant remedies. And it is a 1 year module in 2023. For further details, please contact us. So I'm very excited to announce our today's speaker for the day, Dr. Manish Jagpal, who will be covering approaching the topic on approaching collapse cases and differential diagnosis of the remedies. So, Sir is a fifth generation in his family of medical profession. He is practicing as a consultant homeopathic physician in his clinic since November 2003. He is also practicing in Achri Durga Mata Mandir Hospital, Ludhiana. He is currently working as the head of the Ludhiana Satellite Center of the Other Song Academy. He has worked as a lecturer in Sri Guru Nanak Dev Homeopathic Medical College and currently teaching at Lord Mahavira Homeopathic Medical College, Ludhiana. He conducts various community services through free homeopathic camps, mostly which is set up in rural areas. He is very active in organizing and delivering seminars both at national and international platforms. So when I contacted Sir for his introduction, he just told me to keep it short, but his achievements are much more than just one page, which we cannot contain right now. And Sir was very humble enough to say that whatever he is today is because of his teachers. So let's carry his humility in us too and be more inspired by him. Certain basic hygiene factors that we need to follow during the session. Please mute your lines all the while. Keep your videos on, it helps in interaction and avoids temptation to multitask. Raise hand while the speaker is explaining. We can keep the question answer session at the end so that it doesn't distract us from the session. Please do not scribble on the screen. You're free to make notes and most importantly, enjoy the session. You can view our previous musings, recorded musings at Repertoire of Learning. We will be sharing the link in the chat box. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link will be shared in the chat box. You all can note down the numbers which are flashed on the screen. For any further queries or difficulties or questions, you all can contact us. Over to you, sir.
Okay, am I visible? Yeah. So is my voice audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. So I would like to have questions in between also. I would like to have this session more of an interactive. So everybody is free to chat.
I think there is some issue. Just
Can you hear me now?
now it is clear.
I think speed is very good at my side.
There was some technical.
It's perfect. It's more than 200 Mbps on my side. Okay. So my voice is audible to everyone, right?
Oh, loud and
Okay. Great. Let's start. So welcome everyone. Can you highlight? Can you focus the video on me, Twitter? Because if
sure.
I make short, it's only you I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone. Great. Now we are good to go. So our topic of today is collapse. What is collapse? Collapse is when
Put it on screen slideshow so that we can see the whole screen.
I like to do it this way because I like to see what's going to come up next.
More comfortable, so we can
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if presentation mode works here. I have never tried it on Zoom, but we can do it sometime next. Okay. So what is collapse? Collapse is something, when because of any reason, the internal foundation becomes weak or breaks down, and the capacity to hold the structure goes away and the whole thing collapses. Just if you all can see, it's like this. It's the whole thing goes down just like this. So this is collapse. And we are not going to be very technical in this term. We are going to understand it in a very umbrella term so that we can understand when to approach such a case that has when a patient has gone in a collapsed state. So collapse can be an acute collapse suddenly because of some acute reason, because of some acute cause, which is overwhelming. If you remember the days of your assembly time, there used to be every day one or two students who would collapse during the prayer time. And as we are growing and now we have become physicians, we can see more collapse cases coming to us in day-to-day practice because of various reasons. That might be metabolic, that might happen due to hypoxemia, there might be mental causes. And it's not that collapse is only acute. Collapse can also be chronic or terminal when patient health is degrading slowly. And now the patient has reached a state that is, again, the foundation has become very weak. And we can see that at that time also patient can collapse. In last 2 years during COVID times, we have seen so many collapsed cases, right? Collapse can happen due to high fever as well. Collapse can happen due to cardiac arrest or various cardiac pathologies. Dehydration can lead to collapse. Hysteria can lead to collapse. A particular organ failure, let's say In asthma, when lungs are failing, patient can go into collapse. Exhaustion, overexertion, excess of uterine hemorrhage can lead to collapse. So I just put in some interesting. What do you think he is collapsing? What's the reason of the collapse of Mr. Bean here? Come on, guys. I want to see how fast you can interact in the chat box. Whatever comes up to you, definitely he is collapsing. Some mental shock. Yes, Sanjay. He is seeing something unacceptable. Sudden shock. Hysterical. I don't see hysteria and we. So diagnosis is very, very important. How do we approach? We must know the reason. That's why I put this slide. If your patient is going into some kind of collapse, what is taking him to this collapse? Okay, but this is just a slide. We cannot go to the particular reason of this collapse, but of course he has seen something because his eyes are wide open and that something is acceptable. Most probably it has less to do with something physical, but more of a mental cause we can see here, right? And again, this lady, this might be a hysterical reaction. And this lady again here, she's having a cap. The collapse can be because of extreme level of sun exposure. And this guy who is, I think he's walking and he might be ignoring his heart pain, his chest pain, and this can be a probable cardiac. Yes, probably cardiac. But we must confirm what is the reason of the what's happening here. It was very interesting. This is full on drama. Certainly hysterical, over dramatic. So again, coming to this slide again, we must know we are going to do and understand collapse very generally and various remedies that can cover this kind of situation when it's coming around you. So usually the patient is brought to you by the attendants, a collapsed patient rarely approaches himself unless it's a chronic, ongoing, slow collapse until it comes to its onset. So this girl, so I have various good cases of collapse. Dr. Preeti approached me and she asked, "What can we do?" I was thinking, okay, let's do this. Is topic it's not been covered. I had good cases. All are with good follow-ups. So this parents brought this girl to me, and she had recently opted for medical. And I know this family, and I know that she's a very soft-hearted girl, speaks very politely, generally very scared. So taking medical, I was surprised. Why did she took medical? Because it was my underestimation also that, oh my God, would she be able to do medical? And now she has to study a lot. So she keeps on skipping her school for completing the syllabus. And she sleeps in the daytime so that she can study at the night. But Unfortunately, she wakes up the next day and overslept, And what is happening in the classroom is that, teachers have called the parents to take her to doctor, because whenever teacher asks a question in the classroom, something happens to her and she just collapses. And little bit of talk that I did to her, that, and she's saying, her voice is like that, doctor main bahut घबरा जानी. I'm speaking to you in Punjabi, the way she's talking. Doctor, I get very nervous. If I like to translate it, I get very nervous when teacher asks me a question. I forget everything and something happens to me. I start becoming anxious, and then I don't know what happens. I become unconscious. And then the teacher calls the parents to take this child back home. Of course, it's not like real unconsciousness. She regains her unconsciousness. But this is what was presented to me. So I want your suggestions. What are the most probable suggestions for this case? We're going to do lots of cases today. Sanjay ji is saying hi. I don't know. I believe there are many participants whom I can. It's very disappointing during the COVID times. We cannot see the faces of each other, but I have a feeling Sanjay ji has been on various seminars of me on other platforms as well. And many of you, I believe. So give reason for your remedy as well. Why Medorinum? Why hyosinus? Jagruti, definitely exhaustion, mental exhaustion is there. But more than mental exhaustion, we have to see that the capacity of this patient to exert mentally is already very low. Already very low. She is not. Give me some rubric. Give me your understanding. Give me your symptom analysis. Small cases we'll be doing. Brain fag, yes. Yes, Jean. Yes, she is powerless, exactly. Definitely brain fag. You see, Rose is saying Mandarinum cannot think of the answer when asked, even though they know it. And Shruti is saying forgetful. Yes, definitely forgetful. Hives because Sanjay ji is saying hives because disturbs the nervous system profoundly. Sanjay ji, what is the center of hyosinus? We need to understand the center of the remedy before voting for it. In simple understanding, we see she is, yes, Shivani, that's no capacity to recall things, and she is going into collapse. And another thing that we are missing is, so I would say it's collection of three things. Number one, there is memory issue.
Isha, laptop मध्ये आलं, your speaker is not working.
Yeah, and but your mic is on, ma'am. I don't know whether she'll be able to listen. Second issue is that you guys are missing that she's oversleeping. And she's going into collapse. Why she's going into collapse? Because she has recently gone to a new situation. Okay, so she's not able to handle this. Simple, think simple. There is a change of situation. She has gone from school to college, and there it's feeling she's feeling hard to adjust. Medical is too much for her. It's too much of an overload. And what is that leading to is a collapse, and she's going to sleep. So you need to understand. Simply, I'll be also trying to show how to use different repertories. So I preferred using Clark because it was a short case, a clinical situation, and we need to understand that there is a change in life, there is fainting, there is sleepiness, and the mind is getting affected because of it. I hope it's clear to everyone. Great. So let's go to our next case. Good follow up. She is basically a weak person, mentally and physically both, but she has started to, adjust and adapt. Muhammad Zaidan is saying there should be a GI disturbance as a result of stress. Not necessarily, my dear. Not necessarily. It's a pure mental breakdown case. Okay, good. Let's move to our next case. This girl entered her teen. I don't know, Mahmood, what you're trying to say. I'm sorry, I said Muhammad before. It's not Nux Swamika Mahmood. We are talking about Nux Moschata. I think you misunderstood. It's Nux Moss. Okay, next case is of a girl who had just entered her 13th birthday. Generally, very excited girl. She has planned her birthday very creatively in high level of creativity, very much excited for her birthday. This should be the theme, this should be the menu, this kind of cake would be there and all those. Also the parents were excited, and they just wanted to give her a little bit surprise, and the girl was unaware about this, that wherever the birthday was celebrated, there is a roof on the top that could be opened. So what happened that, you know, when she was about to cut the cake, there was music, there was, that crackers and all that, and the balloons were there, and the rooftop was open to, throw the balloons out. And she saw this hole, and just imagine, while cutting the cake, she fainted. And the parents brought her to me on in a very dull condition that this is what happened. We don't understand what happened. We were all happy. We were celebrating, and that's all. Yes, Jean. Jagruti, perfect. Great. I'm happy to see symptoms before remedies. Great, Ankit. Very nice, very nice. So I tried to use Vatak here, just fainting. Excitement aggravates. Fainting from excitement, especially after a surprise. Yeah, Ramaji, surprise aggravates. What kind of surprise? If let me show you. Mhm, mhm. Surprise aggravates is gelsemium, definitely. But what kind of surprise? If that surprise is pleasant in nature, exciting in nature, happy in nature, you will see coffee there. In gelsemium, surprise comes as a shock. And it's like, okay, now Ramaji is sitting in audience and suddenly somebody announces the name. Now I invite Ramaji to sing a song. And Ramaji is surprised and shocked. Who called my name? So, uh, and another important center of gelsemium is anticipation. Then in coffee, there is a lot of creativity. It belongs to family Rubiaceae. So that, you know, let's do something. Let's do something creative. How will I celebrate my birthday? Okay, let's do this kind of theme. Okay, let's do this kind of cake, and that you can see it's not only the physical thing of coffee. Yeah? You can also see the cases I'm sharing with all of you. You can also see both the physical and mental uh, aspects getting collapsed somewhere. Okay, good to go. This girl was brought to me from, previous college. Um, Few students bought her in the car, and they asked me to come out and see the patient in the car because she would not be uh, able to walk in because the pain was so severe that even after getting the injections, she would not be able to get any relief. And along with that, there was constant severe nausea that was not being relieved. But the interesting thing was she still wanted to, she was complaining of khali pet, my stomach is empty, give me something to eat. But as the thing was brought to her, she would refuse. But trembling, so much pain, so much pain, and profuse perspiration, but the whole skin was icy cold, icy cold, and dysmenorrhea. Okay, camphora has already come, but what is the center of camphora? Sanji is saying magphos, creative thinking, but does magphos has such kind of collapse? Is collapse center of magphos or phosphorus? very close Varatram Vidya. Sintai Singh Varatram again. Again, Ipecac. So very nice. A big hint for all of you that this remedy is combination of camphora, Varatram, and Ipecac. Three remedies. It's combo of Varat, camphor, and Ipecac. Because icy cold with profuse perspiration, you all are thinking about camphora and Varatram. Anupur gives little explanation also. Lisa, if a single remedy covers all the three aspects, why would we do that? Ankit and Nupur, very interesting suggestions. Exactly. That's what exactly I gave. Here are we. Okay. We have done with this. And how tobacco? To understand tobacco. Special area of interest here is uterine pain. Okay. With this deathly nausea, that is the keynote of tobacco. Deathly nausea. 4 marks you can see along with Ipecac somewhere, but 4 marks. Rekhaji, colocynth covers nausea, but colocynth does not have deathly nausea. You need to understand that. What is tobacco? Tobacco, and that tobacco gets too much in you. There is aggravation from that produces too much of nausea. That leads to extreme chilliness. Definitely Chandrasekhar, that is the keynote of tobacco. We need to understand that not every tobacco patient will do that. Right? Definitely, if it is there, there is no doubt about giving tobacco. But I want you to understand rest of the aspects that tobacco is one of the very important remedies for dysmenorrhea, especially when there is combination of along with dysmenorrhea, there is deathly nausea and icy coldness of the extremities. Along with one thing that is last rubric you all need to see the emptiness, the feeling of emptiness in the stomach. And Chandrasekhar ji is very right because that is again one of the very important keynotes of tobacco. But it does not mean that if that symptom is not there or somehow in that situation, the patient is not expressing it, it is still tobacco. Amazing relief. I tell you, this girl, she just, after giving single dose of tobacco within 5-10 minutes, she was so relaxed. Jagrati is asking how repeated. Of course, in collapse such cases, I usually what I do is I tell the attendants to mix the medicine in water and give 1 spoon. The frequency is determined by how intense the problem is. If it is too intense, even repetition can be there after 5 minutes. But this water mixing, water potentiating, it works very well. And as the patient starts improving, I tell them to increase the gap in the frequency. Okay? It's very helpful. So tabacum, it's a very important remedy for dysmenorrhea, guys. Keep this in your clinical tool. All right. Shall we move further? Great. Potency 200, Rhea. 200. Potency matters second. First matters your selection. Give what potency is available. Even 30 would have worked. And like in this case, Coffea, I gave it 1M because I could also see the creativity. In this case, why 200? Why not 200? Because I could not see the theme of Solanaceae family, right? Tabacum belongs to Solanaceae family. And I think potency in this was also 1M next most. So tabacum given not, yes, Lisa. Why combination? Why are you thinking like that? Aim for the moon, aim for that, he can give something. He can get something as a single remedy. Okay. Okay, everyone. Again, this girl, this lady, 38 years old. Hmm? Bloody thin discharge. She got pregnant. Somehow they did not wanted this pregnancy. She took an abortion pill and this thing started. And after getting the ultrasound done, that it was a incomplete abortion. Some remnants were remaining there in the womb. And if you see the lady, it's like very weak, very thin, very lightweight, emaciated, withered constitution. And sonography revealed retained placenta, and she don't even remember how many times she has taken this abortion pill before. Now she is in very weak state. All these patients that I'm sharing with you, they are in a not in condition to talk, reply. So you have to see and observe and feel the patient in many ways. I am presenting them in a very concise way. Now she's saying that I'm tired. I cannot even cook food for my own kids. Or even herself, she was not able to drink her own water also. Now the situation has come that she has to be attended by the family members. Afrin is saying acid force. Okay, before this, yes, Chandra. Before coming to the symptoms, let's see what is the difference in all these cases, huh? And this lady, what kind of collapse it is? What kind of collapse it is? Is it a chronic collapse? It's not an acute collapse. Number one. Number two, what's the organ involved and what is the system involved? There is a lot of hemorrhage. There is uterine pathology, and that has affected the constitution. That the constitution has become so thin, withered, and emaciated. Very interestingly, many of you are correct again. Congratulations, I am enjoying. Yes, it is cecal core. Again, using Fatak repertory. You need to understand this. Lochia, other things are present. Collapse is present in front of us, but what is leading to collapse is, again, the placenta has retained. Sabina is a very good suggestion, but again, Sabina is kind of miasmatic prescription also. Yes, constitution is marked. So, uterine hemorrhage, fainting with, see through and through, Fatak repertory is screaming at you, it's cecal core. Very good, guys. I hope I learned something from all of you today. Great. So what cecal core you need to understand? Cecal core is one of the remedy that is highly ignored by all of us. I don't know, it doesn't, usually it did not used to come to me in involuntary diarrhea. Again, collapse with cold perspiration. We generally think of camphora, but this is one of the important remedy. But again, covers aggravate, heat aggravate, uncovering ameliorates. Thirst also increased, appetite also increased. But desire for warm bath. It's also somewhat like the thermodynamics are very similar to Lidam Pal as well. One of the very important keynotes of cecal core is desire for warm bath, and even the diarrhea gets ameliorated by warm bathing. You need to remember this. If somehow this patient comes to you and tells you this symptom, how do I know what slide I am on? Okay. So this metrorrhagia, very important remedy for metrorrhagia. So much bleeding, especially for all the lady doctors here. It's a must-have remedy in your tools. No lactation. Why? Because the constitution is so weak, withered. What do we mean by withered? Something that has been, dried out, sucked out by life. It's a very important remedy when sterility appears after many abortions. You will see lots of cases like this in underprivileged uh, families. And also very like Sabina. More than Sabina, cecal core, if there are multiple abortions and the constitution of patient is weak, cecal core is my first choice to clean the uterus. And imagine if there is a patient, I remember this lady came to me again from an underprivileged situation. And after 4 months, the gynecologist is telling her that this baby has stopped growing. Cecal core will do wonders. Sickle core will do wonders. I feel sickle core is combination of all these remedies. Ledum pollecus, anthracinum, because septic conditions developed. Tabacum again because of this icy coldness with perspiration. China because of hemorrhagic weakness. Camphora again because of the collapse. Iodum because patient is hot. In spite of agaricus, because it's the remedy this patient can go into convulsion. Sabina because it helps in expelling the remnants. Okay, guys, remember this remedy. All clear up till now? Shall we go to the next case? Okay. Yes, Dr. Rahat, it will definitely help. Let me try to show you if I find this somewhere. I think I have read something like this. I hope so. So one of the cases by Krishnamurti. See how beautifully he is written. If the babe in the uterus stops growing, allopathy has no cure. They abort the child. But if one single dose of homeopathic medicine, sickle core, here he's suggesting here, according to his experience, 10 the babe starts growing. My God, homeopathy is amazing. And in NER or near repertory, you can see. If it is given somewhere. Okay, you got it, just it's there, just. But you need to understand the constitution and reason behind that. It's not that you're going to give that in every case. You need to understand that the constitution has to be withered, repeated abortions, abuse of it's I can say abuse of uterus, multiple pregnancies leading to that kind of weakness, and of course some keynotes should be present. Okay, so where are we are here? Okay, if fetus stop growing could not mean there is nature's way of saying baby should not come. Of course, Lisa, why the baby is not growing? Definitely because the soil of the mother is not fertile and healthy enough to nurture the baby. It's a way of protecting the mother or the child, one of us. But sickle core will give that strength to this lady. The flow of the nutrition will start regaining. Lisa, we are not going to harm the mother by, you know, homeopathy does not work against the nature. Homeopathy works in the direction of nature. So the mother, after taking sickle core, will become naturally strong to handle that. That chronic collapse of the constitution will start relapsing. That's why we are doing all these collapse cases to understand different kinds. I am very, very sure all of you will become, if you understand, these are very thorough cases which I have presented you in a very concise way so that you understand keynotes of these collapse remedies and when to use which, whether it is mental collapse like Nux, Moss, or collapse from excitement of cophia, or collapse from uterine pain of periods, or this case, cecal core. Cecal core is a very interesting remedy and very ignored. Now that's a different topic, Dr. Chandrasekhar, because we that becomes quite miasmatic. It's hard to answer your question by knowing only the one word encephalopathy, because unfortunately we don't treat encephalopathy, we treat the patients having encephalopathy. So without knowing the patient, what is the status of that patient, status quo, what is the presentation, it's hard to answer it. And of course, if we get concise answer is, if we get some keynote, then definitely yes, homeopathy can do wonders. But if you just bring encephalopathy and I have nothing else, the more of an allopathic general information, the less help it is for a homeopath. More of that kind of information that would not be understood by an allopath, that why this is happening. That patient is feeling hot, but still wants hot bath. Isn't it amazing? I'm not going into much detail, but I think I should see. If you see what I, isn't this, it's ununderstandable by a logical mind. Cecal core will have cold perspiration, will have aggravated by being covered, will have uncovering amnuration, and the body is also cold, right? Feeling hot in the bed. But there is only one instance that this remedy desires warm bath, and that is in diarrhea. How contradictory it is. Cold body, icy cold skin with cold perspiration. Covers are not liked. The heat of bed is not liked. But in diarrhea, this patient likes warm bath. Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, for answering. That's reliable repertory. It's a wonderful software, SHS, Energy Homeopathic Software. Reliable repertory is made by, because the modern repertories are adding too much of, unconfirmed additions also sometimes, but reliable is sticking with that. Old authors, the confirmed authors. Oh, so, gee, let's move further. This patient got collapsed by high fever. It was again during college times. An introvert girl does not talk much to other students, and because of that, somebody found her after the college went off that she is in a collapsed state. And when they found her, woke her up, and she was gasping for breath, something like that. And they are telling her, soja, to late ja, lie down, go to sleep. But this patient again is gasping for breath, and no, I can't, because the moment she will close her eyes, she feels, you know, I will collapse again. And this was in January, and she was barely wearing any warm clothes, and that she was full of perspiration, which was also kind of smelly. And it was, and then मुझे मेरी मम्मी के पास ले चलो, मुझे घर जाना है. That's all. Patient is in a collapsed state. What more you will collect from this? And what your suggestions are before coming to remedy? So Brovin is saying capsicum with homesick. Definitely she is homesick. But do we feel this kind of collapse state in capsicum? Generally not. Pulsatilla can have gene that kind of collapse state. Why argentum nigricum? Sanjay ji, bang on. Bang on, Sanjay ji. I just shared with all of you guys that it's the most unusual thing that we have to get hold of. This, so frankly, first I gave her carbo veg. Now this scenario has helped me again in understanding this rabbinic carbo animalis, because I have used this remedy again only because I could solve this case previously. And then I understood that carbo animalis is having carbo veg-like state, but there is no fan desire for. So even if in this case I would not have got this closing eyes, the homesickness would take me there. It's a very important remedy. First time in my life I used this remedy, and this girl was already treated by other homeopaths and the other teachers there in the hostel, and she was not improving. But carbo animalis just brought her out. And then I understood this remedy. Okay, if carbo veg-like state is present without desire for fan and homesickness is present, forget closing eyes. That's a keynote, of course. But in general state also, if you're getting this cold perspiration, suffocation, claustrophobia, and homesickness, good result. Sanjay ji, congratulations. Which statements, Ankit ji? I have said many statements. Okay, I got it. Carbo veg like presentation. That means what? Suffocation, claustrophobia, cold perspiration, collapse state. You're thinking of carbo veg because of claustrophobia, right? But fanning desire is not there. Fanning desire is not there. Or if I should put it in this way, that even after being in open air, the perspiration does not goes away. The perspiration continues. It's a deeper state than carbo veg. Let me show you if it can be written from, if I can find it out from somewhere. Oh, I'm searching in repertory. Carbo animalis. See, one thing, more deep acting than carbo-veg. It is written somewhere. I don't remember where that open air does not ameliorates the perspiration. In Fatak only there should be chapter of perspiration, something like that. If you can see hot flushes, sweat foul, exhausting at night. But amazing thing is what? You do not see a fan here. You do not see a fan here, as you see in Karbovich. Crawling bugs, neglected viewers. Okay, I'll find it someday and sometime and let you know. Okay, Ketaki is saying, Tense Materia Medica mentions this. Okay. I am becoming old. Memory is fading away. Carbo animal is. हमारे गुरुजी can FGHIJK. Okay, K comes after J. We can find here. Open here, something like that. Or perspiration. You know, it's a joy to find that my spellings are correct. Okay, I'll definitely find it and, you know. Thank you, Twinta, for concising that. Shall we go to the next case? So this is, so it's a chronic case and I was not able to write the whole case, but I remember this lady because she has troubled me a lot. A lot. You know, some cases you feel either they should get better or they should leave you. And you yourself as a homeopath become helpless. But then there is a day that is destined to come and you said, okay, let's do it. Bring it on, what you have got. Why your perspirations are not improving? I had given this lady carbo-veg, every collapse remedy having excessive perspiration. And she used to bring fan along with her. Can you, portable fan. Portable fan. And she would sit here in front of me, perspire here in front of me. And I've given her, I think, Camphora 10M also, Carbo-Veg 10M also, Carbo Animalis also. With having no desire to finish, you know, when you start, you know, just keep shooting and someday the bird and the bullet will come in the range and somehow the cure will happen. That was the mood. But then I sat with this lady. She has been given constitutionals also, which improved her body pains. Basically, she had been given Kali iode that helped her a lot, more than 50%. So body pains improved, uric acid improved, uh, lipids improved, and all. But then I talked to her and I tried to, concentrate on the past history from where I got some hint that she had been thyroid patient since very long time, and she had been going through both metrorrhagia and menorrhagia, because of which her hysterectomy was done and both the ovaries were removed. And this perspiration would trouble her 24/7. There was no modality of it that it would increase. Winter same, summer same, everything same. So one remedy that helped her a lot for perspiration that I used was salvia. Salvia. That helped her a lot. But still there was something, not complete. So I need your suggestions. And again, this is what chronic collapse. So if you see salvia, qualiquative perspiration. What is boric written? Controls excessive sweating when circulation is enfeebled. Night sweats, suffocating tickling cough. Insomnia and night sweats. This is what she told me. She cannot sleep. But out of this history, I proceeded further to give her something. Can you suggest something that can be done here? There should also always be, I believe there should always be a variety of tools available to you. Right? All alive. Hello. Subhash Rao ji, bang on, bang on. Amazing. A good amount of applause should be given to Subhash ji. Yes, 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 yes. Lisa, overinum. If I show you, you need to understand. This, you read it from Blackwood or Burnett, both women changes. It's the intercurrent relationship between, this pituitary, thyroid, and ovary. This whole it when she's already suffering from thyroid. Okay, she was already having so much of menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, and hysterectomy was done. Ovaries, suddenly one hormone producing organ you remove. And what is the effect of that? It's yes, and this all goes haywire. You guys understand the physiology and pathology from here. What will happen? Thyroid will start compensating for estrogen and all that. Thermogenesis and everything goes wrong. And this dose of overinum was the only thing that further improved this patient. She would be, coming to my clinic, just, dropping in the chair. Doctor, do something for this perspiration, do something for this perspiration. And if I ask her today, नहीं रे नमिता, ओवेरिनम दिया मैंने, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड देने के लिए, और बहुत कीनोट्स हैं. There are many other keynotes, Dr. Namita, that can indicate sulfuric acid. But this, we needed to understand this, this whole, both are same rows, both are same. Yes, Ankit. I think, I don't know, I forgot. I am not very sure whether one ovary was removed or both were removed, but this, I felt this has something to do with the ovary. Potency was 1M, Namita. I think sarcodes and nosodes, they work good in high potencies. So what are we understanding here? Collapse can happen due to various reasons. Okay. And this again was one of a kind of a chronic collapse, not acute collapse. So we need to understand, we need to identify what is causing this collapse. आज के बाद, after, from now, if any case comes to you with collapse, I am sure today's session is going to help you in understanding what to do, not getting nervous, not getting collapsed yourself, and doing something. Okay, let's do this. Another case, very interesting case. Very interesting case. Somehow nature calls you for some, some benefit. So I was there at this destination wedding. I was not taking my regular vacation because, this destination wedding was already there, and I hope to take a break then only. But this was three days function, and second day before the major functions, major events were yet to happen, the groom fell from stairs. I was sleeping in my room. I was called for this emergency, and what I saw was horrifying for me as well. It was very upsetting because the family is very close to me, and this young boy, very nice guy, very loving guy. He is not just able to breathe. He is not just able to breathe. And there is extreme, excruciating pain in his back that he can't even inspire. And he was just lying on the bed. He couldn't even scream for pain. Imagine, being the only doctor there. Area was remote area. No, hospital is very far away. Luckily, God, I'm very thankful that I was there to help. So imagine being in this situation. What would you guys do? Live, recent, this June, just a month ago. Yes, Sanjay ji. Choose one. Choose one with and why? With reason. And very interesting. Very good. Very nice. Lisa, again coming to two. एक के हो जाओ. हिस्ट्री किधर है अंकित जी? अभी हुआ है ये तो. अभी recently. And I tell you, see, you need to get that exact thing. This symptom gave me so much confidence, I'm telling you, that, the father of the groom asked me out of the room. He took me out of the room. Doctor, should we go to hospital? Should we postpone marriage, or what should we do? And, yeah, if the groom has to ride the horse, for his wedding. He's asking, will he be able to ride the horse? Only after seeing this symptom, I was very confident that yes, we'll be able to do that. Although, it was a remote area, Hypericum took so much time to reach there. Lisa, I wanted 1M, but I could get 200. But 200 also did wonders. Within 1 hour of starting again in water potency, the patient got up, got solid. He attended all the three functions. I was also, surprised to see the result. He took very mild painkillers, although, to be very frank and authentic, that's who I am. But he took painkillers before the reaching of hypericum also, but it did not help. And amazing. Yes, actually, Namita, it was amazing. It was, Lisa, it was not coccyx, it was the L4 and L6. Later on, after the marriage was done, we got the MRI and everything done. There was a hairline fractures in two vertebrae. Imagine, two vertebrae. And I was myself very surprised how helpful homeopathy can be in such acute conditions. And later on, he was given other remedies and all that. Yes, symphytum is a very interesting choice. But we are discussing collapse, not the later on stages. We'll do it someday. But it was very helpful. Very helpful to the guy. And I can't thank God enough for being present there. Yes, you're thinking right, Namita. But we need indications, okay? Indication. So everyone is saying hypericum spine injury, but when you see the respiration is arrested after spine injury, it gives you 200% confidence. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That finding that one indication on which you can step on, hook your rope to, that now we're not going to fall. That sure-footedness is provided by some symptom, some finding, some keynote that is necessary. So whether you give symphytum or calcarea phos or whatever, make this habit of putting your foot on a sure thing. So far, so good. Everybody enjoying, having fun. Lisa, interesting that why I wanted to give 1M was because I I just I just got this single remedy, 3 marks. There was no doubt. Okay, good. Yes, we all must carry kits along with us because I think it's a misconception that we are born for ourselves, but I think homeopaths are born for others. We are here for others. So I would like to emphasize this stage of, this stage of my lecture to understand this, that there are other remedies also that we have not discussed here. So this is how I generally do. Hmm? Need to understand nux moss, camphor, carboveg, carboanimelis, even arsenic and ignitia and gelsemium can be used in uh, collapse. Veratrum is very important remedy, not to be missed. But we need to understand that nux moss does not like to be uncovered, even if the perspiration is there. Arsenic also needs cover. There is nothing specific in ignitia. Veratrum also desires covers. So nux moss, veratrum, arsenic. I think somebody's mic is on. So then again, what kind of perspiration? What is the relation with the perspiration? Nux moss does not perspire. It's a dry remedy. And carboanimelis keeps perspiring even after uncovering. Ignitia also is having very less perspiration, but only on face. And the profuseness of perspiration is also not present in gelsemium. And forehead is the most important area in veratrum, the forehead. And of course, we must know the center of every remedy in just very few words or very few lines. That nux moss is a very, very small child. If we, it's just not even incarnated if somebody understands from the PEM point of view. I think musings have been doing these kinds of many workshops. They are doing wonderful job. I would love every one of you to attend their workshops. But in camphora, the free discharges would ameliorate. I have not written nux vomica here. It's an important remedy for collapse again. Once nux vomica vomits, he is good to go. Okay, now I am free. Let's go. The energy of nux vomica comes back after the discharges are done. He's out of the collapse after vomiting and passing the stool. Carboveg, of course, we understand that fan is very important. लो स्क्रिबलिंग शुरू हो गया. Don't do this, my brother. Okay. Go away from this. Okay. Okay. And Arsenic, we know that frequent sips of water. Ignitia, we know it's a hysterical remedy. Delcinium, we know shock that comes from a sudden news, which he might or might not be anticipating. Tabacum, we just did. Deathly nausea. Encephalic core, gangrenous, the destructive. The lochia is also like, the brine water, the meat washed water, because there is a lot of destruction and gangrenous situation going on in cecal core. And for veratrum, it is social position that is very important. Any questions? Shall we move further? Yes, Lisa. I like to do that way. You should be ready, You should not collapse when collapse case comes to you. Okay, we go to next case. 38 years female, fever, not very high, but it's been 3 weeks. This lady is going through fever. Vidal is very strongly positive. She has taken allopathy and everything. The fever is just not going down. And because the fever is not going down, Lisa Vidal is done for typhoid. This the culture that is done for typhoid. And the condition is she's going down, down, down. Her energy is going, she's becoming weak, and she's sleeping most of the time, lying in the bed, does not wanting to be disturbed. She removes the cover when perspiration comes. She has to go for urination whenever the perspiration comes. And this activity, this just small activity of going from her bed to the washroom takes away all the energy, and she just comes and falls, just drops in the bed, just drops like a dead body in the bed. And now the family is greatly bothered. What should we do? Allopathy is not helping, and they just came to me. And now you have the chart as well. Come on, I'm waiting for your suggestions. There are a few more cases, if we can do that. Why, Akanksha? Ketki is going in right direction. Baptisia is also thinking of kind. So one good hint. Remedy from the chart is not going to help. The previous chart. This remedy does not. That's why I bought these few more cases, because, yeah. So I would say closest are Ketki and Ankit. Closest. So I'll share what was it and what was the keynote. We need to just handle the keynote. See, every case is a different kind of case. So what's happening in this case is there is there is a concomitant that is present, and also you can understand the whole state also. Okay, so what is happening? She has the urge to urinate whenever the perspiration is coming, right? And I think because of this, Gelsemium was also thought. Yeah, Carol. Yes, Carol. So what's happening here? That's the concomitant. So we need to use a different repertory here again. And yes, she was giving muriatic acid. And why muriatic acid? Let's read muriatic acid. Typhoid. Typhoid. Hmm? Septic conditions. Low fever. Great prostration. Muscles especially affected. Hmm? Muscles. What's happening is, see, restlessness changes the position, but soon grows weak and very debilitated, wants to lie down. This is very important. Slides down in bed. Lower jaw drops. Itna weakness, that amount of weakness drops. Okay. Let's go one more. Again, this little girl, she was waiting for her father would come, who has gone abroad, and she prepared all the welcome thing, and something happened. The flight got delayed or something, and he was not coming back on that day when she had done all the preparation to welcome her. And now she's down with fever. She's annoyed, she's angry, she's not talking, she's not eating, drinking a little. But the mother told me one thing, that her back is cold and head is hot. And otherwise, her nature is also, she gets annoyed very easily, bangs the door, goes to the bed and starts sobbing, does not want to talk at that time, does not want to be talked or consoled. Ignitia, because Natromere, because consolation aggravates sad. Okay. Very close, very close. You just need to understand that she is now in a collapsed state. Don't forget the collapse. She's not been eating since last 2-3 days, only drinking little, and she definitely is in grief. Only thing she is liking is little bit of cold water, little cold. Yes, Rose, you are right. Dejection. She felt dejected. There is a disappointment of love. And again, a concomitant was present. What? Chill in the lumbar region and heat in the head. Okay. Again, we need to be very much aware for okay, this 24-year-old young man, he is about to go abroad for his further studies. Be little fast because I don't want all of you to go overboard on time. So he goes somewhere and forgets where he parked his bike, and then he becomes anxious again, and that anxiety produces suffocation in him. He starts to gasp for breath along with strong palpitation. डॉक्टर दिल धड़कना शुरू हो जाता है. uh, I forgot where I kept the key of my bike. Then also I will start having this panic attack. And with this panic attack, my breath will start going. And there would come a time the breath would become so constrictive. There would be blueness in the lips that would start. Cyanosis would start appearing on the lips. There would be constriction in the chest, in the throat. And then I start getting scared, fear that I'm going to die now. I'm going to die now. I'm going to go hospital, and I'm going to die in that hospital. And he faints. So this incident, people left him home. Unknown people left him home. Again, family told a little bit more about him. He forgets where he kept his money, and his asthmatic attack, his panic attack starts coming. Any kind of even minor loss. It was nothing, just five, 10,000 rupees, and he will start panicking. And now his anxiety is becoming more because he feels I'm going to pursue my career, and I am doing this. His terminology was like this: I am doing these wrong things. Why I am doing these mistakes? Laura cirrhosis is a very interesting remedy, but and Laura cirrhosis is Gene and Chandrasekhar is part of this remedy, because confusion, disorientation, fear of death, why I am doing everything wrong. So right wrong has to be part of this remedy. Monetary financial loss has to be part of this remedy. Cyanosis has to be part of this remedy. Panic attack has to be part of this remedy. Fear of death, palpitation, constriction in throat and chest has to be part of this remedy. Okay, to cut short, I'll share what I did. It was given hydrocyanuric acid. If you see, sudden collapse, fear of death, fear of imaginary things, and gasping respiration. So center of action is what here? Respiration. And so much of respiration is arrested because of what? I will say combination of few things. fear, respiration. So what is the flow of pathology? Fear, respiration, and then cyanosis, and then leading to collapse that has originated in the pneumogastric nerve. Okay, this this combination of suffocation that comes from fear leading to cyanosis. Rajeshwari, camphor is a very different remedy, close to this, but camphor is having this hot cold combination thing always there. And that icy cold perspiration, no perspiration in this guy. Perspiration is not was not any close theme of this guy. Hydrocyanuric acid, if you understand Dr. Sarkar, what he writes, it was my understanding I gave you, but what he likes is convulsions plus cyanosis plus carbo-veg like state plus drowsiness like opium. All this, if you combine, half open eyes, difficulty in breathing is the keynote. If there is no difficulty in breathing, it is not hydrocyanic acid. Cold skin, moaning, cardiac complaints, pulse is slow. If you're thinking of carbo-veg or digitalis, try to give this remedy. Cyanosis is very important here. And other things we have just understood what I think this might be our last case, maybe. So this boy has gone past his marriageable age, right? His father expired when he was little. Now it's only he and his mother who are living together. But there is a constant argument, constant discord between he and his mother, which he has been struggling with since childhood. He could not complete his studies. There was an argument between him and his mother, which he revealed me after a very long time, that her mother wanted him to take on the father's business, but he wanted to do, I think, law or something. Law. Yeah, law is one where you have to study a lot. So the mother is saying, you get married, get married, get married. But he is struggling to pass his exams. He's studying, and his exams are approaching nearby. I don't know, should I marry or should I study? What should I do? So, as his exams are coming nearby, he has come to me in a kind of, disoriented state where he is now having no capacity to use his mind. He's telling me that I'm reading, I'm writing, but I don't know what I'm reading or writing. This brain has gone off totally. So, how would you help this case? Twinta is saying Kali Phos, very. Akanksha is saying why picric acid? Why gelsemium? These why anacardium gene? Give me the reasons of your choices as well. Two minds. but I cannot see that evil and a good combination. I can see, should I marry? Of course, if marrying is evil and studying is divine, then we can say that. Justin, is he confused? He is not confused. He is clear that he wants to study. But this constant, long standing, long term argument, yes, that is producing this. Yes, Kali Phos acts on nervous system, but where can you see the Kali and where can you see the phosphorus and the unity of both of them? Emotional excitement, bad effects. Generally, Lisa, gelsemium, what happens is something comes up suddenly. There is kind of acuteness in gelsemium. This is again hectic stress, means it's a chronic stress. Good Akanksha ji. Good suggestion. So this goes to Akanksha. Yay! You see the prolonged anxiety, the prolonged struggle between it's like he's using his brain since long time to convince her mother. Sanjay, there is no grief. He is not in grief. He landed into this struggle with her mother. He feels he is not there with a good mother who understands him, mothers him, nurtures him, or something like that. And why the marriage idea of marriage is I've taken very philosophical rubrics in this because that's also one way to do it, combining two repertories. It's the remedy of intellectual people, literary people who want to study a lot, but unfortunately, whatever they want, the capacity of the mind is not that good. Hmm? Jose, no, there was no particular indication. I just random. I think both the rubrics are there in other repertories also. There was no particular intention in using. I hope I understood your question in a wrong way. Different repertories. We can have a Josian, if I have recently took 3 lectures in repertory Master Desire 2 that was organized by other strong Hope and Synergy. I think you can still register for that and you will get exact answers to your question that you have asked. When to use Fatak, when to use Borek, when to use Clark. I have answered this question in a very elaborated way. And I think the lectures are quite liked and very informative. So picric acid, there, there comes a time. So we understand picric acid can lose mind only by studying. That's not it. It's you need to understand this first rubric. Prolonged effort of mind, not only in studying, but some some heavy situation in which patient stays for a very long time also takes away the mind energy of the patient. And this This acts on spinal cord. So congratulations, Akanksha ji. ये देखो, acts upon brain, spinal cord, weakness, heavy, tired feeling in the body and mind, degeneration of spinal cord. I think we as a medical students have gone into this stage before our exams sometime. Worse exertion, mental, I think seminal losses or something like that was not in this, but mental fatigue from studying a lot, okay, and leading to what? Lack of willpower to, because this stops working. What you're reading, it stops. What you're writing, the comprehension stops. Prolonged mental strain and anxiety. This is what I want to focus on. Prolonged mental strain and anxiety. Not only, people think picric acid is to be given only when a person is studying for law or preparing for something. It's not that. If there is some prolonged mental strain, you can think of this remedy as well. Given other keynotes are present, okay? Okay. Okay, so just one more gift for all of you, because acids are very important for collapse. Very, very important. So we did few collapse remedies previously. And then we need to understand all these collapse remedies. Where are they? Where is this coming from? Evolution of the first column is so less. So this is for people who understand PEM. The first column, they have just incarnated the first subclass or the first. So hydrocyanic acid belongs here. Tabacum also belongs here. You can see. Nux moss is here, the remedies that we covered. So all the remedies from nux moss to opium, pulsatilla, aconite, all are present here. So these are less evolved people who are not strong. And because they are not strong, they cannot handle strong situations. Similar is the story with minerals. The first two rows, okay? Now you need to understand that all the acids, what is acid combination of? You will see oxygen, hydrogen, carbon. You see the formulas. All are belonging to oxygen, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen. See picric acid. All the elements are belonging to row 2. Hydrogen, fluorine belonging to row 2 and 1. So it's combination of row 1 and 2. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? How many of you here understand PEM, personal evolution model, that is being taught by Gandhi sir these days? Although he's teaching since many years this concept now, but it is the concept of evolution. Okay, how what is your inner age? At least all of you here understand periodic table a little bit. First two rows, they belong to the stages of evolution where there is process of conception and process of being born. The second row is all in the womb because they are stuck at this very initial stage of evolution. They don't have that capacity to deal with heavy situations of the life. That is the main reason that they collapse in these kinds of situations. At least, just I'm giving you the gist, not the whole concept. We can talk about this concept later on sometime. Same is happening with the plants. So this first column, that is magnolids, belongs to first subclass, which is very similar to the first row of periodic table. Okay, so that's why all the remedies that are belonging to the first column and the first row are very collapsible. Okay, we'll not go to the animal chart now. Just you understand this periodic table and any questions here? I'm very sure I have confused all of you here intentionally because this is another way of understanding the remedies, a deeper way, a more systematic way of understanding. Because here is where you're stuck in your evolution. You're so young that you're in the womb. So how will a child who is in the womb, or how will a person who has not even incarnated yet will deal with the heavy situations of the life? So there will be a innate tendency to collapse in them. Interesting, na? Yes, Josephine, it's very interesting. So coming to acids, huh? Yes, Dr. Kangsha. Drug remedies, definitely. Most drug remedies are belonging to that kind of state. If you will see, opium belongs to just two random examples. Huh? Opium belongs to first subclass in the papaveril, and cannabis belongs to initial stages of hamamelids. For that, we need another lecture, Dr. Akanksha. Yes, Carol, I've intentionally did not took animal chart to confuse everyone because it's new for many of them. But in animal chart, first two columns, right, before mollusk and mollusk, these in invertebrate are very much liable to collapse. But not only that, Carol, for you, even in the mammals, if the mammal is a very small mammal, initial in the evolution, like a rat or rabbit or a sheep, they can also collapse easily. And same with every family. In every family, there would be like water birds or insects that are very less evolved. They can go into that kind of state. So drop it here, come back to acids. Acids, first two rows of periodic table and their combination, you can see all their formulas here. So along with these remedies that we just studied before, we must also keep acids in mind. Okay. And there is a general theme of acids. This, what? They exert a lot, struggle a lot. According to what kind of acid it is. Like muriatic acid struggles a lot physically because muriatic acid again belongs to an old age. So he's dealing with his physical strength, muscular strength. Phosphorus is dealing with his emotional strength. Picric acid is dealing with his intellect strength. Acetic acid is dealing with his vital strength. Fluorine is dealing with the strength and, breaking the relationship. And so on. Then we can understand that all acids have this exhaustion theme, burnt out theme, fatigue, and that leads to, indolence and indifference. And all acids are aggressive and they land into isolation mostly. Acid burning, huh? A process of slow degeneration would be there in all the acids. And then you can understand the, central theme of muriatic acid. We saw a case also now. It's that muscular weakness. The muscles go so weak that he dips down in a bed. And here we can see it's the grief, a disappointment, and love in acid falls. So physical is muriatic acid, emotional is phosphoric acid, and intellectual is picric acid. Where too much of brain has been used. And it's not fixed. All acids miasm. I'm going to take this miasms at sensation level in an upcoming lecture of advanced course by TOS. So all acids belong somewhere from cancer miasm to syphilitic miasm. It's the combination because you can see various elements are present. But just grossly, muriatic acid and phosphoric acid are very good for typhoid state, typhoid-like state. Picric acid in cancer-like state, long-standing effort. You're doing a superhuman effort. Same with acetic acid also, where whole the vital energy is sucked. What is acetic acid? Vinegar. So physically, mentally, both worn out. I would say it is combination of all the acids, especially muriatic, phosphoric, picric. तीनों को इकट्ठा करो तो एसिड का थीम बनेगा. एनीमिया, emaciation, loss of weight, fluoric acid, fluorine, So you will see calcareous degenerations, bony decay, and the patient is very hot. Nitric acid, the hatred of that. And sulfur, I am right. But you will see lot of hurry, extreme impatience. And of course, it's remedy for chronic alcoholics. So with this, I want to revert to my gurus. This all information I have shared with you, it all belongs to my teachers. And if there are any questions, here is my email ID and my phone number. I would love to hear more questions and your feedback and your suggestions. Jagruti is saying something interesting. Dry collapse, moist collapse. I will need to see that, Jagruti, because it's something interesting you have brought. Okay. Okay. Dry, moist. Frankly, I don't know what does it mean very authentically, but it's very interesting. I haven't seen this before, but it's very interesting. What is the best way to do it is read Fatak Materia Medica straight away. Let us see if we can find out something in Colchicum. That was moist collapse, right? Where is Fatak? My God, why can't I see Fatak here? Oh, sorry. I have not opened Colchicum. It's Mhm, mhm. Okay. So meaning of moist collapse, of course, is okay. Now we got it very clearly. It is on the similar terms what I was thinking. If moist collapse simply means after repeated vomiting and diarrhea, that simply dehydration. And dry collapse means the region of collapse belongs to some other organ than some other factor, that is some other factor than dehydration. See, I've written dehydration here, but you know, some metabolic cause, some hypoxemia, and other cases that we saw, right? Rose, that's what I shared. These are partially conscious people collapse. Josephine, you can follow me on my Instagram. I generally keep putting all my sessions that coming. I am not doing anything on my own, but I am very, very lucky and thankful and full of gratitude that people from different schools, they keep on calling me to talk on different subjects. So I'm mostly on other song. That is my home school from which I have learned, and that's where I basically belong from. Also, I recently did pathological seminar on Toshi, and I am generally there with Dr. Gaurang. Mostly in all of his seminars, I am there, all of the workshops. And I'm very thankful to Musings, very thankful to Dr. Preeti, who she personally talked to me to come for this. And I'm happy to share myself. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. The session was really enriching for us. I'm sure our participants have enjoyed it thoroughly. And you kept it a full session. You were so casual. We were also very comfortable chatting on the chat box, and it was really a good session, sir. Thank you so much. And yeah, we are definitely not going to collapse next time when we see collapse cases. And yes,
Good,
that's the
good.
latest message. And we will have our kit ready with us when we go for our social gatherings next time. Because you've showed us that homeopathy works even in emergency cases like collapse. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge. We are, as a part of Musings, we are really grateful to you to conduct this session for our participants. Thank you so much, sir.
Pay my regards to Dr. Preeti and Dr. Prajakta.
Sure, sure, sir.
I missed them today here.
Dr. Preeti had joined for the session.
Okay, that's a very good news for me.
Yes, sir. And
All right, guys. Bye
yeah,
bye.
just keeping you all informed that we had conducted basic course session, which included all the contemporary methods that Sir was talking about, PEM method, Yakir's chart, Dr. Shankaran's method, sensation method. So we had done a detailed course on that from 8 June to 16 July. The course has ended, but you can still avail the recordings. I will just put the details on the chat box. Yeah, it's already put up. You all can just contact on the number for the recording. And next year we are planning to do a plant session in detail of the chart that Sir had showed. We'll be doing that for the whole year. So those interested can contact us on the number that is on the chat box. Thank you all for joining this session. And Sir, we hope to see you soon in our next musing session, sir.
I'm always there for homeopathy. I'm always there.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye. Good day. Ciao. See you everyone.